Las Vegas shimmered under a flood of lights, the Thomas and Mack Center alive with anticipation. The crowd buzzed like electricity in the air, a mixture of American and Mexican fans, flags waving proudly, voices rising and falling with the rhythm of the moment. This wasn't merely another title fight, it was a collision of two intelligent warriors, a high-stakes chess match inside the ropes. On one side, Timothy Desert Storm Bradley Jr., undefeated, athletic, and mentally unshakable. His body moved like a coiled spring, always ready to snap, a rhythm uniquely his own, sometimes awkward but undeniably effective. Across from him, the veteran Juan Manuel Marquez, a master of timing and precision, a future Hall of Famer whose right hand had once silenced the legendary Manny Pacquiao. Age hadn't dulled his instincts, decades of battles had sharpened them. The WBO welterweight championship lay in the balance, but the real prize tonight was the mental duel. Bradley needed to remain calm, execute flawless footwork, and keep Marquez from finding his moment. Marquez, on the other hand, sought the perfect counter, a crack in the champion's rhythm that could swing the fight. As the fighters met in the center, the tension was palpable. The bell would signal more than the start of 12 rounds. It would ignite a battle of intellect, instinct, and courage. The fans, sensing the gravity of the night, leaned forward, ready to witness history. Every jab, every feint, every step would matter. Tonight, this wasn't just a fight. It was a test of brains, bravery, and timing, a high IQ clash for the ages where one misstep could define legacy and victory. From the opening bell, Bradley and Marquez circled, probing, calculating. Bradley's feet moved constantly, a blur as he created angles and measured distance, his jab snapping out like a ruler gauging the ring. Marquez, ever patient, studied each flick of the wrist, each subtle shift in stance, waiting for the moment to unleash his signature counter punches. And then it came, a sharp lead uppercut from Marquez, not fully flush but enough to test Bradley's composure. Bradley's response was immediate. He stepped forward, absorbing the test, signaling to the crowd and opponent alike that he was unfazed. The first round became a lesson in controlled aggression and mental dominance. Small clashes of heads gave Marquez a swelling over his forehead, evidence of Bradley's physical advantage, his natural size and reach making the veteran work harder for every shot. Both fighters landed glimpses of offense. Bradley's jab snapped forward, Marquez's counters sliced through defenses, but it was the champion who dictated the tempo. Round 1 closed with an aura of respect and tension, a reminder that this fight would not be decided by brute force alone. It was about calculation, patience, and a steady hand under pressure. The crowd, sensing the intelligence at play, buzzed with excitement not for fireworks but for the unfolding mastery of strategy. Marquez's history of knockout power and Bradley's mental fortitude promised a slow-building storm, one that would intensify as the rounds progressed. The early chess moves set the stage, hinting at the drama and precision that would define this encounter. Both men understood the stakes. One misread could shift the fight's momentum irreversibly. By the third and fourth rounds, the fight had evolved into a complex tactical battle. Bradley's movement remained elusive, weaving in and out, landing quick jabs and resetting before Marquez could retaliate. Every feint, every step backward forced the veteran to readjust, his legendary counterpunches frustrated by the champion's rhythm. Marquez tried to provoke a brawl to lure Bradley into exchanges, but the younger man refused. This was not a reckless slugfest, it was mental warfare. The crowd, eager for explosive punches, now appreciated the subtle brilliance of Bradley's strategy. He was a ring general, dictating the geography, forcing Marquez to work harder for every inch. Yet the veteran's frustration grew with each missed opportunity. By round 5, the tension intensified, Marquez's famous patience tested against Bradley's disciplined unpredictability. Small but telling moments defined these rounds. Bradley rolling with punches, slipping counters, and even when struck, stepping in with resolve, his chin proving as reliable as his footwork. Marquez's body shots sought to slow him, but the champion's conditioning allowed him to absorb and respond without losing control. It was a slow, mesmerizing unfolding of skill, counterpunching versus constant motion, experience versus youth, patience versus calculated aggression. These rounds set the tone. The fight wasn't just physical, it was cerebral, a high-stakes duel between two minds, each trying to impose its will, each probing for the critical flaw. And as the bell rang for round 6, Bradley's clean counter right hand landed, a reminder that while Marquez sought the perfect shot, the champion was always one step ahead, blending intelligence, timing, and raw resilience. As the fight entered the later middle rounds, Marquez found his moment. In round 9, after several rounds of disciplined observation, the veteran finally connected. A sharp uppercut followed by a crisp left hook rattled Bradley, shaking the champion's legs and sending the crowd into a frenzy. For the first time, the younger fighter seemed tested, not overwhelmed, but challenged in a way the early rounds had never shown. Marquez pressed forward, launching body shots and combinations with precision and intent. The momentum had shifted. After 10 rounds, the fight had transformed from a carefully controlled dance into a tense, high-stakes exchange. Marquez's experience shone through. His timing, even at 40, remained deadly. Yet Bradley's conditioning and tactical mastery allowed him to absorb the pressure, moving just enough to avoid critical damage. The rounds were becoming a high IQ battle of adjustment and counter-adjustment. Each fighter now faced the psychological strain of the fight's ebb and flow, Bradley needing to survive the veteran's pressure, Marquez needing to seize the decisive blow. The arena vibrated with suspense as the crowd reacted to every successful connection, every step backward or forward. Even at this stage, the fight wasn't about brute force alone. It was the relentless interplay of mind and body, intelligence and instinct. Marquez had finally demonstrated why he was a legend, but Bradley's ability to adapt under duress continued to define him as a champion, highlighting that skill, heart, and intellect were all in perfect balance tonight. Entering the 11th and 12th rounds, the fight became a crucible of endurance, will, and mental calculation. Bradley's movement showed early signs of fatigue, his mouth slightly open, breathing heavier, legs moving just a touch slower. Marquez sensed opportunity. The veteran pressed relentlessly, stalking, jabbing, and countering with intent, seeking the openings he had studied for years. Bradley, knowing the championship hung in the balance, circled, fired selective punches, and retreated to avoid the veteran's power. The stakes had never been higher. The audience held their breath with each exchange, understanding that the final round could decide legacy. Marquez tried desperately to land the knockout, knowing that a decision might not fall in his favor if Bradley maintained his tactical control. Bradley, aware of this, relied on in-and-out movements, countering when necessary and avoiding prolonged exchanges. The closing moments were tense, the veteran throwing everything into calculated attacks, the champion absorbing, slipping, and striking back with precision. The drama was not in sheer power, but in the split-second decisions, the mental chess, the anticipation of each punch. Every fan in the arena understood this fight was a testament to skill and intelligence as much as it was about heart. The bell rang, signaling the end of 12 grueling rounds. Both fighters stood exhausted, glistening with sweat, arms raised in mutual respect. The arena waited in hushed anticipation as the judges' scorecards were read. One judge scored the bout 115-113 for Marquez, another 115-113 for Bradley, and the final 116-112 for Bradley, awarding him a split decision victory. The champion retained his WBO welterweight title, but the fight had transcended mere numbers. It was a clash of intellect, strategy, and courage, a high IQ battle where patience met precision, youth met experience, and adaptability defined the outcome. Bradley's movement, timing, and mental discipline had earned him victory, but Marquez's relentless pressure, counters, and flashes of brilliance reminded the world why he remained a legend. Fans erupted in applause, celebrating not only the champion's triumph but the artistry displayed inside the ropes. This fight wasn't defined by knockouts or dramatic finishes. It was defined by strategy, calculation, and the pure cerebral mastery of two warriors at the top of their game. In the annals of boxing, the Bradley-Marquez clash would be remembered not as a war of brute force, but as a battle of minds, a testament to the sweet science where intelligence, timing, and courage reigned supreme. Both men walked away with their legacies intact, one defending his crown, the other proving that even at 40, a true legend could still command the ring with brilliance, skill, and heart.